There was a day your heart will never forget. Not because it was loud, but because it was the day everything went silent. The day this person betrayed you. Maybe it wasn't dramatic. Maybe it was a message you weren't meant to see, a truth that slipped out, a distance you suddenly felt, or a confession that shattered the image you had carefully built of them. And in that moment, it felt like love had humiliated you. You remember the heaviness in your chest, the disbelief, the way you kept thinking after everything. How could they? You didn't just lose a person that day. You lost the future you had imagined, the version of yourself that felt safe with them. But here's the part no one tells you. While you were sitting on the edge of your bed, replaying every memory, while you were blaming yourself, while your heart was breaking quietly so no one would hear it, karma was already working not to punish you, not to reward them, but to remove what was never meant to stay. Sometimes betrayal is not the beginning of your suffering. It is the beginning of your protection. Sometimes the day someone exposes their truth is the day the universe stops you from loving someone who would have slowly destroyed your peace. You thought that day was about rejection, but what if it was redirection? What if that betrayal was karma closing a chapter you were too loyal to leave? Tonight we are going to talk about that day, the day this person betrayed you, and why, in ways you couldn't see at the time, karma had already begun working in your favor. Stay with me because your heartbreak might not be what you think it is. 1. Why betrayal feels so personal. The psychological layer. The reason betrayal feels unbearable is not just because someone lied, it's because you trusted. And trust is never logical. It is emotional exposure. When you love someone, you slowly hand them invisible access to your fears, your childhood wounds, your insecurities, the parts of you that you don't show the world. You let them see you without armor. So when this person betrayed you, it didn't just feel like an action, it felt like your vulnerability had been mishandled. Psychologically, betrayal activates something very deep inside us, a survival alarm. Our brain does not separate emotional pain from physical danger. To the nervous system, rejection and abandonment feel like a threat to safety. That's why your chest felt tight, why you couldn't sleep, why you kept replaying everything, searching for the moment you missed, because the mind is trying to protect you from future harm. But there is something even deeper. Betrayal shakes your identity. You don't just question them, you question yourself. Was I not enough? Was I foolish? Did I imagine the love? And that is why it hurts beyond the event itself. Because betrayal doesn't only break the relationship, it cracks the story you were telling about your life. And when a story breaks, we feel lost inside it. But sometimes when a story breaks, it is because a truer one is trying to begin. 2. The karmic perspective. Why this had to happen. What if betrayal is not random, not accidental, not cruel fate playing games with your heart, but a turning point your soul agreed to long before your mind understood it? Karma is often misunderstood. People think it is revenge, punishment, balance in a dramatic, visible way. But real karma is quieter than that. It is alignment. It is the gentle but firm removal of what no longer matches who you are becoming. Sometimes we hold on to people out of love, out of history, out of fear of starting over. We ignore the small red flags, the subtle disrespect, the feeling that we are shrinking to keep the relationship stable. And because we cannot let go, life lets go for us through exposure, through truth, through betrayal, not to break you, but to break the illusion. Sometimes karma works through the actions of others. This person may have thought they were choosing someone else, or choosing themselves, or simply acting on impulse. But on a deeper level, their betrayal revealed what you were refusing to see. It forced clarity, and clarity is painful but freeing. The day they betrayed you was not just the day trust collapsed. It was the day the universe stopped negotiating your worth. The day protection arrived, disguised as heartbreak. And the truth is, some exits are karmic blessings in painful clothing. 3. how karma was working in your favor all along. The most painful part of betrayal is that in the beginning it feels like you lost. They walked away. They chose differently. They seemed unaffected while you were left holding the pieces. But karma does not work in the first week. It works in the unfolding. When someone betrays you, they reveal their character. And when they reveal their character, they remove themselves from the future you were building. Imagine if the truth had stayed hidden. Imagine loving them for 5 more years, 10 more years, investing deeper, trusting more. Sometimes karma protects you by shortening the story. And while you were grieving, something powerful was happening inside you. Your standards were rising. Your intuition was sharpening. Your tolerance for half-love was quietly dying. You may not have noticed it at the time, but the betrayal changed what you will and will not accept again. That is karma working within you, because karma is not just about what happens to them. It is about what awakens in you. The pain that felt like destruction was actually construction. You are no longer the person who believed love should be chased. You are becoming the person who understands love should feel safe. And one day when someone meets you with honesty, consistency, and respect, you will look back at that betrayal differently, not with anger, but with gratitude. Because that was the day your life quietly corrected its direction. For the emotional healing and reflection. After the betrayal, after the heartbreak, there is a silence that follows. A quiet that feels empty at first, but slowly becomes sacred. In that silence, your heart begins to whisper truths you ignored while loving them. It reminds you that you are worthy, that your love was never the problem, that your vulnerability was not a mistake. Healing does not happen in a rush. It comes in soft moments. A walk alone, a cup of tea, a song that makes you cry, a memory that suddenly feels lighter than before. Each of these moments is calmer at work, softly teaching you patience, self-respect, and the courage to trust yourself again. You may still think of them. You may still wonder what could have been, and that is human. But the more you let go of the why and the what if, the more you step into the life that was quietly waiting for you all along. Karma was never about punishing them. It was about restoring balance in your life, about giving you the space to heal, to love better, to choose wisely. The day this person betrayed you was the day your heart learned a secret. Sometimes the people who hurt us are the very ones who help us grow. Sometimes the heartbreak was the invitation to step into your own power. And sometimes the love that follows will finally feel like home. So remember, when betrayal visits, don't just mourn. Notice how the universe is rearranging your life. Notice how karma quietly and faithfully was already working to bring you to the love, peace, and joy you truly deserve. Before you click away, pause for a moment. Look inside yourself and remember every tear you've shed for someone who betrayed you. Every night you stayed awake replaying conversations, questioning your worth, wondering if love was ever meant for you. I want you to hear this. It wasn't you. It was never you. You were brave enough to open your heart in a world that too often teaches us to hide it. And this heartbreak, this betrayal, it was not the end. It was a beginning. Karma was already working while you were falling apart. Your pain was never wasted. Your tears were not meaningless. They were the rain that nourished the strength inside you. One day you will look back at this moment, not with anger, not with regret, but with a soft smile, knowing it led you to your peace, your clarity, your true love. So don't run from it. Sit with it, feel it, let your heart mourn, let it heal. And trust that the universe is rearranging your life for the love and life you truly deserve. If this resonates, comment, "I received this message." Share your story, because someone out there needs to hear that heartbreak can be the quietest form of love.